and welcome to Green Herb Gaming, where I share my passion of video games with the whole wide world. In this live stream I am once again playing Evil 2, and I'll be playing No Way Out. And there really is no way out in this very hard mode where you have to kill 100 zombies. So sit back, relax, and more importantly, enjoy the live stream. A massive shout out to Prochronics Vlogz, Chad Middleton, Aidan Denston, Milkman the Gamer, Damien and Alan Sewell, and Animation Time. Please check out their amazing content and subscribe to those even more amazing people. Fuck out of here, fat boy. That's it. Drop to your fat knees and die. My high score is, I think, 70 something. I keep forgetting 76. I've seen a guy on YouTube today and he completed this. And I'm just like, how? How? Like, what kind of a crazy bastard you have to be to complete this mode, like? It's insane. Oh look, it's Fat Boy number 2. He's fat as the last guy, is he? Excuse me. Look at that, two for the price of one. Special offer in this garage. Drop to your fucking knees. You undead bastard. Who's next? Take that! I don't get how they still grab me when they're fucking stunned. Resident Evil 2 Remake has the most cleverest zombies in the entire series. Oh shit. Wait. I won't use my green herb just yet. Victor, welcome to the live stream. Hello. Thank you for the like. Much appreciated. And welcome to the live stream. It is great to have you as always. So you can see I'm playing Resident Evil 2 Remake once again. And I'm playing the extremely difficult No Way Out. Got my shotgun for those purple-headed bastards. Speaking of which, second now, there we go. Well, I actually won't use my shotgun for these ones. I'll wear it for a little bit later. Not bad. Something behind me. Oh, that was stupid of me. Yeah. Well, he fucking died. About time, you purple-headed bastard. Look, your buddy wants to die as well, does he? No problem, he'll die too. Oh, I didn't get poisoned. It's handy that your handgun is unlimited ammo. Look at this ugly whore. What's in the bag? Oh, machine gun. Jesus. We killed 34 motherfucking zombies so far. Oh, look at this ugly bastard, man. Shotgun. Dead? Yeah. Oh, I got some more herbs, handy. And a flash grenade, because they're obviously very handy. I'm just looking at a funny comment there. Back to the gameplay. On your knees. chemical flamethrower. I can't pick it up yet, can I? No. Come back and get that later. What the fuck did you come from, you baldy bastard? Quick. Oh, come here. I like the emojis. I'm loving the emojis, Victor. Lads, zombies are getting harder. I think it's explosive. Look, I'm not going to waste my shotgun ammo. Fuck that. I keep thinking there's a zombie behind the building. You're gonna die, huh? Ah, fuck. Dead. Holy fucker. Dead. Blue herb, but look at this. Raid. Danger. Take up my flamethrower now, will I? Oh, Jesus. Officially, what was the high score there? Wasn't quite 76, but it was higher than the last attempt. Aiden Denson, welcome to the live stream, buddy. Great to have you. Hi bro, I'm in such a good mood. I'm glad for that, man. I'm glad for that. And it's great to have you in the live stream, as always, Aiden. Alright, so this mode. Absolutely, positively, undoubtedly insane. I honestly think you have to have a combination of patience and skill for this mode. I think that the patience really is the fact that you have to kill 100 zombies. So it takes a while to do that, you know? And you have to obviously you have to have skill to do that. This show I like, it's called Steven Universe. It's getting a movie, so that's why I'm in such a good mood. If you wanted to know. I'm glad for that, man. One zombie out of 190. I need more to go. Caution, maybe one by a zombie in caution. The fuck is up with that? Excuse me. Yeah, die, you fat slob. Oh, look at that for a headshot. This time I'm not going to hit this guy's tank. At least not right now. Ah, for fuck's sake, reload. Typical. Oh, fuck off, you baldy bastard. Ah, fuck. They're falling. I may as well leave the explosive there because there's not many zombies. What did I sell in this dump? Dump. Let's say. That's for the junk. What's that? Random shade. Fuck. I think the zombies have way too much range, to be honest. serving you. Get fuck off. Zombies? And 70 more left. Only. This guy's still light. Ah, it's hit me. Yeah, it's a really tough mod. But my battery is nearly dead already. Jesus Christ. As these PS4 controllers don't last for shit. Poppin' beans. I'm just reading the random names of products there. Poppin' beans. Oh, look at this fat bastard. He likes some poppin' beans. headshot. Hamburgers. Let's have your ID ready. What, a hamburger? Into the stream. I think I got back to Metal Gear Solid 5 in the next live stream. This game just popped into my head yesterday, so I said it. Not yesterday, what? Oh, that wasn't yesterday. 2 days ago. No, I'm actually confused now. It was yesterday. Yeah. So like, try this game again. But in the next live stream, I'll be playing Metal Gear Solid 5. .31 It's an okay enough stream. So thank you to those who watched the live stream, including Aidan Denston and Victor and anybody else who may have stopped by to watch the live stream. Thank you as well. And a big shout out to Prochronics Vlogz, Chad Middleton, Aidan Denson, Milkman the Gamer, Damien and Alan Sewell, Animation Time, and a shout out to Sonic Studio as well. Sonic Studio. Some really funny content on his channel. So shout out to Sonic Studio. I can just see a comment coming through there in my live chat on my phone from the one, the only Milkman the Gamer. Do you know what? I'll have a chat. That's what I'll do. I'll have a chat with my one viewer right now, Milkman the Gamer. Milkman the Gamer, how are you keeping, man? Because I actually enjoy the chats, to be honest with you. I enjoy the chats I have with my viewers and my subs. So I suppose this is the end of the gameplay segment of the live stream, but if it's okay with Milkman the Gamer, we'll have an old chat. We'll have an old chat. Good. How about you? I'm actually probably good. Although today my Nintendo account got hacked by somebody in Saudi Arabia. Yes, you heard that correctly. My Nintendo account got hacked by somebody in Saudi Arabia. I turned on my Switch this evening and I was logged out of my Nintendo account. I was like, that's really strange, because I'm automatically signed in normally. So then I was like, okay, this is really strange. It wasn't accepting my password, so I clicked the forgot my password thing. Sent me a password reset link to my email. Did that, resetted the password, and then I realized, that my account had been hacked because my profile picture had been changed, my friend list had been wiped. Thankfully, I still had my games and game saves. Thankfully, they didn't make any transactions. They didn't download any games or anything like that. But it was strange because I went into my account page and I realized that this fucker had been it told me where he signed in from. So Saudi Arabia. Once I saw Saudi Arabia popping up, I was like, yeah, definitely being hacked anyway. So apart from that, I'm actually doing quite well. How are you keeping, Milk? Oh yeah, you said I asked you already. Sorry. So anything strange? Anything strange? You all settled in now into the new home? So in this live stream, Milkman the Gamer, I was playing a bit of Resident Evil 2 remake. I was playing No Way Out, trying so hard to defeat 100 zombies, but it's tough. It's tiring stuff. I was just going to end the live stream, but then I saw that you joined the live stream, and I said to myself, so what's the point of ending the live stream when you just joined, when we could just have an old chat? Yeah, I'm settled in my new home and just need a stove and other stuff as well. Ah, cool. You gotta get that stove, man. You gotta get that stove so you can cook your favourite meals and stuff. But once you have that now, you'll be settled in 100%. So that was a funny segment of today. My Nintendo account being hacked. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how hackers do it. Obviously they have equipment and technology, and skill. Absolutely no idea. They must have somehow got my email address, and then from there, it's weird. It really is so weird. Because I looked at my emails and there was a couple of emails saying that your user ID had been successfully changed, and all that. So that was really strange. Do you still have your data in video games saved? Yes, thankfully, Milkman the Gamer. Oh, thank God for that. All my games, all my saved data, and I seen that the little bastard was playing my games as well, because I looked at my recent activity, and they were playing games that I wasn't playing those games last. They were playing Cuphead and everything. They were playing Super Mario Maker 2. I'm just so happy they actually didn't delete it, because they could have done that, because my Nintendo account is tied to a number of things. It's tied to my game downloads. It's tied to my game saves as well. So this little shit could have deleted my game downloads as well as my game saves as well. Thankfully they didn't do that, but for whatever reason they deleted my friends. That's the strange. Apart from changing what they did was they changed their user ID to Azwa or something, whatever Saudi Arabian name, and changed my profile picture and wiped my friends list. But other than that, it was grand. Aren't you afraid they're going to hack it again? I suppose that's the world that we live in, unfortunately. That's the new era that we live in, Milkman the Gamer. Happens across all social media, websites, anything you're logged into. Essentially, you run the risk of being hacked, which is why people have a lot of issues with technology like 5G, like when you have like smart meters for your electricity and stuff like that. I mean, imagine when they start getting hacked. It's just, yeah. I wouldn't say that I'm afraid that I'm going to be hacked again. I wouldn't. No. What I did was obviously I changed my password, but then when I realised that my email could have been compromised as well, because obviously they can't change the password without. Well, no, actually they can change the password without using my email. But just out of precaution anyway, I changed my password for my email also, just in case. And I checked my bank details as well to see was there any transactions made. So thankfully they didn't go near my, like they didn't get access to my credit card details or anything like that. And they didn't make any transactions from, because I would have needed my security code anyway. Not the security code, but you know they would have needed the last 3 digits of my credit card number to complete any transaction anyway. And also there's a password as well. You got to put it. No, I don't need to put it. Actually, no. What am I saying? Actually, no. They don't even need to do that. So I'm so lucky they actually didn't do that. Jesus. It's an automatic purchase I have turned on or something. Yeah, last year I got hacked in my Roblox account and I could never get back on. So I had to. Oh my good God. That must have been so painful. Jesus. And did you have a lot of like progress in that account? Like, did you put a lot of progress into that account when it got deleted? God, I would go off my game if that happened to me. No, tell you the truth. Also spended. Oh my God, but that pretty much answers my question, doesn't it? Spended money. Oh God, see, this is what. Oh, it's actually. I suppose it is kind of scary, like when you put it like that. Actually, I think I actually am starting to get a bit scared now, to be honest, because it's. I was so lucky. They could have easily went into the eShop. They could have purchased the most expensive game on it, and completely wiped out my bank. Or not, wiped out my my account. God Almighty. Because I don't know, whatever settings I have on my eShop, I could just make a purchase with a couple of button presses. Basically, I don't even think it asks me for my security code anymore. That's actually scary. Holy hell. Unless maybe I was lucky now, and maybe whatever country that they're in, it might have recognised. I don't know. I'm just lucky that it wasn't as bad. Because I'm thinking of what could have been. Like, God, he could have deleted my games. He could have bought games. Strange, but the only thing that this guy did, he, she, whatever the hell it was, it could have been a computer, it could have been a bot. For all I know, I have no idea. All they did was delete my friends list. That's the strangest part about it, really. That is the strangest thing about it. But get this, when I looked my Roblox account up, they changed my clothes. But I looked it up this year and it was the same clothes. So they probably hacked my account for fun. I never used my account. That sounds like, yeah, that's very familiar to what happened mine as well. Probably the same guy. Probably the same guy, Saudi Arabian motherfucker. Because it's very familiar. I feel like whoever hacked my Nintendo account did it for fun as well, because all they did was change my profile picture to a Breath of the Wild character. changed my user ID and wiped my friends list. My games are still there. My games are still there, like. No transactions were made on the eShop. You would think like that if some real, you know, evil, dirty, scummy motherfucker hacked my account, like, and, you know, went into my eShop and realised, oh, he's got his credit card linked to his eShop, I can download this, or oh, I'm going to delete all these games. You would think they would do that, but it seems to me like whoever it was played a bit of Cuphead. They played a lot of games, actually. Played my games, changed my profile picture, and wiped my friends list. So, I mean, like, fingers crossed, touch wood, they didn't do anything else. But from what I've seen anyway, they didn't really do anything other than that. In your Switch, do you buy games from the shop or buy games on disc? With the Switch, you can either buy physical games or you can buy them digitally. Obviously, some games will be digital only, so you'd only get them through the Nintendo eShop digitally. But a lot of games are available physically and digitally. For me, it depends, really. It depends. If the game is cheaper on the eShop, I will get it digitally. If it's only available on the eShop, I'll obviously get it. Or if my local retailers don't have the game in stock, then I'll kind of be left with no choice but to get it digitally. Ishmael, Nicholas, welcome to the live stream. Herb, how is it going? It's going quite well, but I was just saying to Milkman the Gamer there, Ishmael, that I'm dropping a like for you. Thank you. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. This is like a chatting segment to Green Herb Gaming, Ishmael, at the moment. I've ended the gameplay segment of the live stream because this mode here in Resident Evil 2, No Way Out, is extremely difficult, and I just can't do it right now. So I took a little break from that. But I was just having a chat there with Milkman the Gamer today. So I'm doing well. By the way, how are you keeping as well? How are you keeping? I'm doing well, other than the fact that today my Nintendo account got hacked by somebody or something from Saudi Arabia. I was so lucky that my games were not deleted. Basically, like, my data was not wiped. The only thing that got wiped, strangely enough, was my friends list, and they changed my profile picture as well. But but yeah, Milkman the Gamer, it all depends on what the situation is. But I'd say mostly, like, I would go physical over digital all the time. But if there was a game that was only, like, if I had no choice to get it digitally, like, yeah, I'd get digitally. But it's handy that you have that option to either get your games physically or digitally. I'm trying to think of things to talk about now, to tell you the truth. But yeah, like, I mean, I suppose anything can be. It's been a while since you played some Res. It has been. It really has. 6 months, to be exact. 6 months since I played some Resi. This mode is very tough. That's why I've ended the gameplay segment of this live stream and decided to have a chat with my subs and viewers. I really enjoy just chatting to my subs, to be honest. Green Herb, this is random, but you're going to see the Fortnite event tomorrow. Oh, I'm officially done with Fortnite. So I won't be watching the event. No. It's Dragon versus Robot. The only online event that I'm taking part in right now is Splatfest, the final Splatfest of Splatoon 2. Well, it's Chaos versus Order, and I've chosen Chaos. That's the only online event I'll be taking part in the next couple of days. I'm all good, thanks for asking. Hacking You say, aside from missing some stuff, did they get sensitive data? Thankfully, no. I'm so glad they didn't do that. I'm so glad they didn't hack any of my sensitive data, like credit card details, or well, I hope so anyway. Like, I mean, I checked my transactions, and there was no transactions made with my credit card, not even on the eShop or anything. So thankfully they didn't do that. My games seem to be there. They seem to be in working order. Save data seems to be there as well. It's almost like they were just having some fun, because the only thing that they did was delete my friends list. So all my friends deleted. Thankfully I could track some of them down, because I added a lot of friends from my Wii U and 3DS. Like you can re-add friends. Like once you link your Nintendo Network ID to your Nintendo account, you're able to do that. So I was able to re-add them. You can also add people through Facebook as well. So I was able to kind of add back quite a few friends really with that. But I'm actually waiting for Chad Middleton to join the live stream, because he may be wondering what's going on, because he's one of my friends that I added on the Switch as well. This is random, but people outside my house blasting music so loud it's shaking my roof. Good God Almighty! You can't be too sure these days. These guys are sneaky. They're very sneaky, man. Oh God. That's so random, Milkman the Gamer. Somebody's playing music outside Milkman the Gamer's house, and it's literally taking the roof off. God Almighty! At this stage, they'll be blasting your roof so high you'll be moving home again. God, hopefully that won't happen. Wait, what time is it where you are, if you don't mind me asking? Because right now in Ireland it is 10 to 1 a.m. Because I'm just picturing that in my head right now. Imagine music playing this loud. I hope it's good music at least. 7:50 p.m. It's not that late, but still, nobody wants to be listening to loud music like that. Tell them that Mr. X is going to get them if they don't turn the music down. Tell them that Green Herb Gaming is going to come over with Mr. X and terminate them if they don't turn the music down. Haha. But yeah, it was a crazy moment this evening, I can tell you that much, when I turned on my Switch, and just the shock of being signed out of my Nintendo account. I was like, what is going on? Because I know that Sony do that when they update the PS4. They automatically sign, you've updated your PS4, they sign you back in. Herb Squad is going to bring exactly, Milkman the Gamer, knock at your neighbour's house and tell them that they don't turn the music down, that the Green Herb Squad is going to bring the pain. That's one hell of a promo right there, isn't it? So, so I was used to being signed out on my PS4, but I've never been signed out of my Nintendo account before, so I knew something was fishy. I kind of tried to remember the entire sequence of events really, of when I kind of realized something was seriously wrong. I suppose when I went to sign back in, and it wouldn't accept my password, I was thinking, okay, maybe I put in the wrong password. But I've only got a few passwords. Like, I don't have a lot of passwords for different accounts. I've kind of had one or two. I saw a couple of new Switch versions being announced recently. This is random, but do you have an Xbox? I don't. I had an Xbox 360 many years ago, but I don't have that anymore. So right now I don't actually have an Xbox. They also announced the PS5. They did indeed. They did it. I'll actually talk a little bit about that in a second. I don't have an Xbox right now at the moment, Milkman the Gamer. But yeah, Ishmael, a couple of new Switches have been recently announced. Nintendo announced the Nintendo Switch Lite, which is a new version of the Nintendo Switch that is dedicated to handheld gaming. PS5, is that the official or leaks? Oh god, no, it's officially been, the PS5 is official. The PS5 is official. They just haven't revealed too much information about it. So yeah, Ishmael, the Nintendo Switch Lite is dedicated to handheld, so you will not be docking this version of the Switch. It's for people who want to play their Switch in handheld. So it's a little bit smaller. Some of the features have been removed, like HD Rumble and the ability to detach the Joy-Cons. The Joy-Cons have been like merged into the system itself. So yeah, it's a version of the Switch that is dedicated to handheld. The second one is a lot of people thought there was going to be a Switch Pro, you know, better specs and everything like that. But unfortunately, it's just the same as a standard Switch, but it has better battery life, and they've changed the packaging as well a little bit. So apart from that, that's pretty much it. Some people are still holding out for a Switch Pro. I don't think it's going to be happening. Now, as far as the PS5, yes, the PS5 is official. There's going to be a PS5. It is official. But all we know so far about it is that it's going to allow games to load a lot quicker. In fact, they're pretty much talking about no loading times at all. I would have liked the Pro Switch. A lot of people would have liked the Pro Switch, and I think a lot of people are pretty disappointed that they're not going to be getting one. People said that the Nintendo Switch Lite looks like the Wii U. Looks like the Wii U? God, no, the Wii U gamepad is actually bigger than the the Switch Lite. Wii U gamepad is much bigger than the Switch Lite, actually. I don't know where people are going with that one. But I suppose the concept of having a screen and the controllers are kind of like around the screen. I can understand that side of things when comparing the Wii U to the Switch Lite. But it's a little bit different. So all we know right now about PS5 is faster loading times. And it's funny because the only game they showed to demonstrate that was the PS4 game. They showed Spider-Man running on PS5 with better loading times. That's all we know about the PS5 right now. They're going to have to show more. They're going to have to show games. They're going to have to announce games. They're going to have to show something to get me excited about PS5. Because right now, I'm honestly not one bit excited about PS5. They haven't really spoken about PS5. If the Lite is handheld centric, it must be significantly. Oh, it's going to be significantly cheaper. It's going to be significantly cheaper. I think it's like $200, and £200 kind of in the. No, not £200. Sorry, wait, no, a second. No, not 200. It's going to cost like $200 and €200 in and around that thing. But I can't. I can't specifically give the price, but it's going to be significantly cheaper indeed. No load times. I mean, that alone gives me the green light. I agree with you. It's great to have games with no loading times, but for me, that okay, it's good, but is it the selling point of a console? Like, it's a bit, yeah. Green Hub, this is random, but are you ever going to go back to Mortal Kombat X? I don't know. I think with Mortal Kombat 11 now, I move on to the next game in the series. So probably not in the foreseeable future anyway, Milkman the Gamer. Might record a couple of videos of Mortal Kombat 11. I have that game on Nintendo Switch, and right now Nintendo just don't want to do live broadcasts, which is a pain in the ass. I would love if they did some live broadcasts, so I can record a video off my phone of Mortal Kombat 11 on Nintendo Switch. But not like with the fact of me having Mortal Kombat 11, I just don't really see a need to play some Mortal Kombat X. But to get back to the PS5. for a moment. The only game they showed running on PS5 was Spider-Man 4. Or sorry, not Spider-Man 4, Spider-Man on PS4. And the only thing they could talk about was faster loading times for a PS4 game. Any titles you want to see on the PS5, anything. Oh, God, original. Okay, let's compare the revealing of the Nintendo Switch compared to what we know now about the PS5. Okay, a long time ago, in like 2015-ish, Nintendo for the first time uttered the name Nintendo NX. From that second, the entire world was like, oh my God, what is this going to be? What is the NX? The whole world talking about NX. Who's talking about PS5? That's my sound effect of a dust ball going across a road. Because let's face it, nobody is really talking about PS5, are they? Now, when Nintendo actually revealed the NX to be the Nintendo Switch, what do we see? A fantastic 3-minute trailer showing you what the Switch is, what it can do, and how it's different to the Wii U. Got to go since the mom wants me to go. No problem. Enjoy. And thank you so much for joining the live stream, Man the Gamer. And have fun, man. Have fun. So, we saw what the Switch was. We saw what it could do. We saw that we knew, actually, even before they revealed the Switch, even before, for real, no joke. Coola boola, man. Enjoy. And I will see you next time on Green Herb Gaming. Great to have you as always, and thank you for the support. So, even before Nintendo revealed the Switch, we knew that we were getting a brand new Zelda game, Breath of the Wild, releasing day on day with the Switch. We saw that game being played in front of a TV. The guy gets up, takes his console with him, goes to a bench in a park and continues playing Breath of the Wild. We see him play another guy playing Skyrim on a plane. You know, by the time that trailer ended, we knew exactly what the Switch was. We knew exactly what it could do. We knew exactly what kind of games we were playing, and we knew what made it different compared to the Wii U. Now compare that to what we know now about the PS5. We know nothing about it. We know nothing. We don't know anything about games. We don't know anything about what it looks like. We don't know anything about what it can do. Apart from, oh, it's going to be really powerful and it's going to have better loading times. I say that sarcastically because I'm just tired and fed up of the same old with Sony. And it ain't just Sony, it's Microsoft as well. I'm just tired of the same old. Loading times are great. Okay, a game with no loading times, that's great. But to be honest with you, I'm not joking, right? I'm not joking. As Milkman the Gamer said, for real, no joke here, right? Loading times actually come in handy every now and again, because what if you got a text on your phone, right? You got a text on your phone, you're like half replying to the text, and you want to do it before the game loads. Loading times are handy for that. Or if your kettle has boiled, you can pop into the kitchen and pour the hot water into it. Loading times are nice because they break up the game. You want to break every now and again, you know. I'm not justifying loading times, but I'm just saying. But look, overall, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to run into my local video game retailer to pre-order the next generation of consoles based off loading times alone. I'm going to have to see what these consoles can do, and I want to see do they speak to me as a gamer? What can they do for me as a gamer? But that footage that they showed of the PS5 wasn't just faster loading times, but ridiculously fast. And let's keep in mind that wasn't official. But that actually was. The footage they showed was official. They had Spider-Man running. First of all, Spider-Man is a PS4 game. Okay? PS4 game. It was running on PS5 hardware, and the only thing they could talk about was faster load times. So the footage they showed was Spider-Man 4, Ishmael. And the only thing that they were talking about was in fact loading times. So I don't know, like here we are in 2019 and we're still talking about specs like they're the best thing ever. I don't know about you, Ishmael, but I've moved on from specs. I can wake up tomorrow morning, the sun is shining, and I'm saying to myself, beautiful day outside, I'm going to go outside. And I can bring my Switch with me, and I can play a game like Mortal Kombat 11. I can play Wolfenstein Youngblood. I can play Doom Eternal. I can play Breath of the Wild, soon to be Breath of the Wild 2. I can play The Witcher 3 on my Switch anywhere, anytime. Like, I've moved on from specs, you know? That's what excites me now. But load times are mandatory, and if you want to have a break, there's always the pause. Yeah, but like, really? Like, I'm sorry, like, but let's compare, like, faster loading times to playing The Witcher 3 in the middle of nowhere. You know? Like, faster loading times are nice, but if that's the only thing that people have to say about next generation right now. Xbox is saying Xbox Scarlet is going to be 4 times more powerful. Power is all we ever hear. Power. Power doesn't give you Game of the Year, does it? Like, you know, power doesn't sell games. Like, it's funny you should talk about power actually, because I was watching a video on YouTube today, and it was actually about how Nintendo are winning the console wars. Now, I don't believe in the console war myself. This isn't my video. This isn't my words. This is the YouTuber. But the point anyway is he was talking about like the Nintendo 64 was actually it was actually technically more powerful than the PlayStation. But the reason the Nintendo 64 failed and the PlayStation succeeded was because PlayStation got the better games in the end, from third parties anyway at least. And they did that because they supported compact disc. It was better for developers. It was easier for developers to make their games on compact discs than it was in cartridges. Also, the GameCube was the most powerful console of that generation as well. But again, the GameCube flopped, the PlayStation 2 succeeded. Obviously the Wii wasn't the most powerful console, but look at the sales of the Wii. Look at how amazingly well that sold. So the mobility and accessibility of the Switch is your favourite aspect of the console. 100%. 100%. Being able to play the games I love anywhere, anytime far surpasses how good the game looks, or even how good the game runs for that matter. It's all about the game. It's all about and your experience with the game. For me anyway, it's all about how I interact with my games. It's all about how I interact with my games, and I have a lot more fun interacting with my games when I'm like anywhere. I don't know, I just like I just can't get excited for specs anymore. I just can't. They don't excite me anymore. I can try. I can say, oh, you know, this game looks amazing. This console is so powerful, but it just doesn't do anything for me. Like this, I said it's all about the games. And it is all about the games. So let's talk about one game from like Mortal Kombat. One of the first video games I ever played. I played Mortal Kombat originally on the Sega Master System. Seen that game in 8-bit. Now, when I was like 4 or 5 years old, I didn't know, nor did I care what 8-bit was. I didn't really care. I just had a game in front of me. And obviously on the Sega Master System, you were playing your games in front of the TV. Then the Sega Mega Drive came along and the game looked better. The graphics looked better, the music was better. Then, I'm thinking, I don't know, Mortal Kombat, then on the Nintendo 64, again, game looked better. sounded better, more detail. Sitting in front of your TV again. Then on PlayStation 1, like I would have played Mortal Kombat Mythologies Sub-Zero, great game by the way. I think it's underrated, to be honest. Mortal Kombat 4 as well. I mean, at that stage, like, games had really improved in terms of visuals. Then, of course, on the PS2, they looked even better. But those aspects aren't exclusive to Nintendo. As a matter of fact, strides are made to make all console accessible. Okay. Those aspects aren't exclusive to Nintendo. Okay, well, mobile entertainment is obviously not exclusive to the Nintendo Switch, because for as long as there's been, like, for a very long time, there's been mobile devices that have allowed you to experience entertainment on them. So obviously mobile entertainment is not exclusive to Nintendo. But can you really, Ishmael, compare a mobile phone to the Nintendo Switch? Like, can you play The Witcher 3 on the mobile phone? I don't think so. Can you play Breath of the Wild on a mobile phone? I don't think so. Can you play fantastic first-party titles like Super Mario Maker 2 on a mobile phone? I don't think so. So those aspects are exclusive to Nintendo Switch. But they have been on the forefront of that. Yes, exactly. I mean, like, they really have. I mean, the Game Boy speaks for itself. The Game Boy the Game Boy enabled Pokemon. Now you look at how big Pokemon is. It doesn't need to be explained. The Game Boy enabled Pokemon, and I've made this argument. I don't even need to make it an argument. It's actually a fact. The success of the Nintendo DS led to the iPhone, the iPad, and I would say touchscreen entertainment as we know it today can be credited to the success of the Nintendo DS, because you can look at the timeline if you don't believe me. The DS actually released before Apple's touchscreen devices. So they sure did. They sure have been the forefront of that field. It's all about preference, really. It's all about preference. Me, you, somebody else. We're all going to have different preferences. Some gamers like to sit in front of the TV, massive 50-inch 4K TV, and play their games on that TV. Play games that are ultra realistic, with the best graphics, running 60 frames per second, 4K visuals, and that's how some people like to play their games. Milkman the Gamer is back. Great to have you back, man. Hi again, I can only stay short though. No problem, man. Good to have you back. A mobile phone is just a catalyst for gaming, and if you ask me those questions at least a year or two from now, I'll be able to give you a 100% yes. Well, it's like this. You can talk to me about 4K and 8K. You can talk to me about what a mobile phone can do. What you guys talking about? Oh yeah, well, Ishmael and I were talking about, like, I don't know how to put it. Like, we're talking about, like, mobile entertainment, and we're putting the Switch in that category. The reality is, the Switch, right now, is the only console, home console, that allows you to play your games anywhere you are. A mobile phone is not a home console. A mobile phone doesn't have amazing exclusive first party titles like Breath of the Wild, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Super Mario Odyssey and Super Mario Maker 2. It doesn't have amazing third party support like Mortal Kombat. Here's one for you. Compare Mortal Kombat 11 to Mortal Kombat Mobile. Go onto YouTube right now and type in Mortal Kombat Mobile and compare that to Mortal Kombat 11. Mortal Kombat 11 on Nintendo Switch runs in 60 frames per second in handheld mode. In fucking handheld mode. Like, let's not compare the Nintendo Switch, okay, to a mobile phone. Like, am I saying that the Nintendo Switch is the only mobile device out there? No, I'm not saying that. But I always get that, like, from a lot of people. Oh, if I want to play my games on the go, I'll play it on the mobile phone. That's fine, but that says a lot about your gaming preferences then, doesn't it? That says a lot about who you are as a gamer then. Like, if you kind of prefer to play mobile phone games than play The Witcher 3 on the go, or to play Doom Eternal on the go, or to play Mortal Kombat 11 on the go, or to play Breath of the Wild on the go, you know, it speaks volumes, really, I think. Ever heard of Google Stadia? Absolutely no interest whatsoever in Google Stadia. Ever heard of a power cut? Ever heard of your broadband being cut off? Ever hear of being in rural Ireland, or in a rural area? Ever hear of that? I've had situations where my power has been cut off at times unexpectedly, and I was able to continue playing my games on the Switch. You can't get that, unfortunately, on Google Stadia or Xbox Scarlet or Xbox xCloud. You know, you're not going to get that with streaming services, because streaming services, you obviously need a stable internet connection at all times, and you obviously need power. You know, if you're playing it on your laptop, if you're playing it on your, I know a laptop is mobile, but let's face it, how long is it going to stay mobile? But the thing is, like, it's not like it's. It's an interesting kind of conversation, really. It's an interesting conversation. Just because you're not interested doesn't mean that the products is obsolete. I never said it was obsolete. But what is the selling point of Google Stadia? I don't see the selling point. I just think that people are just, I don't know, brand power, because it's Google. You know, I don't know, man. Google Stadia, why would I want to play Google Stadia? Like, I mean, I just don't have a reason to. I'm not alone in that. Like, a lot of people are very vocal about Google Stadia. A lot of people, it just doesn't interest me the slightest. And I never said that it was an obsolete product. I never said that. It's amazing. I think for the last, how many years now? It's for the last 10 years I've been having these types of conversations. I don't know. Like, I'm not saying that Google Stadia doesn't exist. I'm not saying that it's obsolete. I'm not saying that Nintendo Switch is the only handheld device out there. I'm just saying, as a gamer who has been playing games for a good part of 20 odd. Sonya Blade! Oh my god, I remember Sonya Blade. Welcome back, Sonya Blade. I love saying that. I love saying Sonya Blade, because Sonya Blade is actually in the live chat right now. It has been a while. It certainly has been a while. This is kind of a discussion segment to this live stream. I started off by playing Resident Evil 2 remake. I was playing some No Way Out. It's a very, very tough mode. I kind of got sick of that because it's too challenging. But I always like to have chats with my live chats with my viewers and subs. So Sonia Blade, how are you keeping? How has your day been going? The selling point is actually not that from the Switch. Accessibility and mob. Is it really accessible though, Ishmael? Is it really accessible though? I'm sorry, like, but how accessible is it when you need an internet connection at all times and you need power at all times? How is it really accessible? I mean, like, when you're playing, like, oh, I can play Red Dead Redemption 2 on Google Stadia. But, like, what about when it buffers? What about when it lags? Come on, like, think about that, like. Just passing by to say hi, lovely accent. Thank you. Thank you. My name is Johnny as well. You know, I got Sonia Blade and my name is Johnny. Just saying. Myself and Ishmael are having a low-key console war here, I think. A low-key console war. As accessible as an internet connection. And how exactly is an internet connection accessible if you're living in a rural area? How accessible is an internet connection when you don't have high-speed internet connection? I mean, you remind me of an Irish politician, Ishmael. You know, you really do. You remind me of like a modern politician who just expects everyone to be young and trendy and flashy and like some sort of a fucking hipster. Do you know what I mean? Like, not everyone is going to have high-speed internet connection, Ishmael. Not everyone is going to have is going to be living in a city. Not everyone is going to have 5G, Ishmael. You know, like I mean, come on. How can you argue with the like? Nice name. Thank you, Sonia. At the end of the day, like, with Nintendo Switch, you can be sitting in front of your TV playing a quality game like Breath of the Wild. You don't like Nintendo's first party games? That's fine. You can play Mortal Kombat 11, The Witcher 3, Doom Eternal, Diablo, Dark Souls, the list goes on. And if for whatever reason you need to leave the home, you can continue playing it. You don't need to have an internet connection. You don't need to sign any subscription. You just take your console with you and there you are, playing the games you love anywhere, anytime. That entertains me a lot more than faster loading times or Google Stadia. Don't make that comparison, bro. I feel bad. What comparison? Wait, I'm slightly confused now. What comparison? What did I think? Back. What comparison did I make there? God, I've been having these conversations for like 10 years. I don't know what it is. I think it's just a group of people that just get Nintendo, and some people don't get Nintendo. Some people will appreciate their innovation. Some people will just, I don't know, I suppose, like, just overlook their innovation. Let's make a hypocritical assumption and say that the Stadia games can be fully downloaded. I actually don't know that much about Stadia. I just know that it's a streaming service that allows you to play games that you can already play on PS4 and Xbox One, soon to be on Xbox Cloud, on any device. And it sounds good on paper. It does. It really does sound the politics. Me and you both. But it's like I'm obviously joking and not being like serious here with you. You know, I don't believe in a console war, so you don't have to worry about me having a console war. Which I don't believe in a console war. I believe that if you're a gamer, then you're part of the gaming industry, and you appreciate and respect every form of gaming, and I do. I genuinely do. But I feel like everyone should have an opinion and be entitled to their opinion and shouldn't just be a fanboy and be brainwashed into running out and buying a console and not, and I don't, you know what I mean? If I have an opinion about a console, you can be sure I'll make my point clear. I'm a big Nintendo fan. Me and you both. I don't know anyone who really isn't, to be honest, to some extent. Even people who say they're not Nintendo fans, I think deep down inside they are. Jeez, I don't know where the conversation is going now, to be honest with you, but how did this even start, really? How did this even start? I have absolutely... Oh yeah, it basically started with a discussion about PS5. I think Milkman the Gamer asked, has PS5 been officially revealed or something like that, and then we got talking about PS5, and what I said was that Sony have officially acknowledged the development of the PlayStation 5. So as of right now, Sony are officially talking about the PlayStation 5. And what we know about the PlayStation 5 so far is that it can run PlayStation 4 games better, and that the loading times are going to be a lot better, and quite frankly they're going to be non-existent. Loading times are going to be non-existent on the PlayStation 5. How do we get here? I know I'm kind of going over how we kind of got here, really. Oh God, no! Oh Jesus Christ, I know! Oh, don't worry about that, man. Oh Jesus, Ishmael, don't worry about that, man. No, there's no ill will or anything like that, man. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. It's not a console war. I just try to bring it all back to how we kind of got here. So all I was saying, really, Ishmael, was as a game, I can only speak for myself. I can only speak for myself. Everyone's going to have their own preferences, but for me as a gamer, faster loading times alone doesn't excite me, and that's the point I was making. All we know about PlayStation 5 right now is faster loading times. Now there is, oh yeah, and they've confirmed you can play PS4 games, but the thing is, I have a PS4, I'm playing it right now, so the fact that I can play my PS4 games on a PS5 doesn't really do anything for me right now. Do you know what I mean? Like if I get rid of my PS4, great, because I can probably make a bit of money towards the PS5 or something like that. Even though, realistically speaking, you're not going to get a lot, because the PS4 Pro is the latest model, and they even updated the basic PS4 as well. So my PS4 right now, realistically speaking, is probably going to be worth jack shit. So backwards compatibility, honestly, means nothing to me. And I humbly accept your opinion. Right now the PS5 does not excite me. And I was simply comparing the PS5's, I suppose, early reveal. And I know it hasn't been revealed. I get that. I know the PS5 has not been revealed. But as far as early information about it, I'm just comparing that to how Nintendo spoke about and talked about the NX. I am telling you, the second that Nintendo mentioned the fact that they were working on a dedicated gaming system that they codenamed NX, I'm telling you, the entire world was talking about it. You couldn't go one day without somebody talking about the NX. It was so huge. And I have a feeling that this conversation will go a bit differently when the official trailer is revealed. Let's see. I'm talking about what has been revealed right now, which is the Switch. And let's see what happens when the PS5 gets revealed. And we'll have a conversation about that when it happens. But when the NX was revealed, the whole world was talking about it. And I think one of the biggest moments was the realization that Nintendo would be launching the latest Legend of Zelda game on their latest gaming system the NX. This is before we knew what it was about. This is before we knew anything about the NX. We knew that day one we were getting a brand new Zelda game. Now you're going to get people who will say, but Johnny, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is a Wii U game. And I'll say, to whoever it is, I'll say yeah. But guess what? GTA 5 was released months before on the PS3, before it came to the PS4. People played GTA 5 and cleared GTA 5 by the time it came to PS4. Breath of the Wild was a bit different because nobody played that game. It released the same day on Wii U and Switch. That's the difference. What would excite you about the PS5? This is the conversation that I'm actually trying to have, Ishmael. You know, I'm trying to have this conversation. So just hear me out for a few minutes and kind of hold off on the comments just a second and just hear me out. So I'm basically comparing early information of the PS5 compared to early information of the Nintendo Switch. Again, early information of Nintendo Switch, originally it was codenamed Nintendo NX. We knew that day one we were getting a brand new Zelda game. I think that was enough to really excite anybody. Launch title, brand new Zelda. Okay, but then when they officially, but even the rumors and reports, because we now live in an era where a lot of the times leaks end up being confirmation. We heard things about hybrid console. You know, we heard about being able to play your games on the go, and that excited a lot of people. That excited the internet. Everybody was talking about that, being able to play your games on the go, hybrid console. But when they officially revealed the NX, again, we saw Breath of the Wild, brand new Zelda that we knew was going to be launched alongside the Switch. We saw games like Skyrim there. You know, we saw Mario Kart, Splatoon, and we saw what the Switch was. We saw what it is. We saw gamers playing in front of their TV, leaving their TV and going to the park and continuing playing their games. So by the time the trailer had ended, everybody knew exactly what the Switch was. And as far as me being excited, I mean, I don't know how else I can't speak for you, Ishmael, I can't speak for anybody else, but the possibility of being able to take the games that I love with me anywhere and play them, I'm sorry, but that was a selling point. Actually, I don't know why I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, because that was a selling point for me. That's what excited me for the Switch. And when the Switch got officially what's the word I'm looking for? Oh God, it's the word I'm looking for. Presented. When the Switch got presented to the world live at that Tokyo event, when Nintendo started talking about HD Rumble, I'm sitting in the exact same spot that I was sitting in when they described the technology of HD Rumble, being able to feel, what did he say, ice cubes in your controller, being able to tell how many ice cubes are in there and being able to shake them around. I had never experienced anything like that before, and I was so excited to experience HD Rumble. That got me excited. Then I looked at the games that were coming out for it. Sonic Mania got confirmed. Sonic Mania got confirmed for Nintendo Switch, and the games just started to get announced, you know, day by day. That's what excited me for Nintendo Switch. Now I know we're at a very early stage with PS5, but as far as to answer your question, what would excite me about PS5? It would have to be something about the console that hasn't been done before. Ishmael, it is 2019. I am a 30-year-old man. HD Rumble is what it's called, Ishmael. HD Rumble. It's a completely next generation version of Rumble. So when you're actually playing the game, you get the feedback. It's Rumble, basically. It's vibration. If you want it. If you're a PlayStation fanboy, it's you're going to know as vibration. I'm not saying you are, Ishmael, but you'll know you probably know it better as vibration. But it's a next generation version of vibration that has never been done before. I am telling you, there's a game called 1-2 Switch on the Nintendo Switch. There's a game in that called Ball Count, where you can physically tell how many balls are in that controller. You can feel them moving around individually. You can feel them bumping into each other. There's no way to describe it, really. You just have to experience it. And I'm telling you, you would have never have experienced anything like it before. The sensation of feeling something in a controller that actually isn't in there is just, it's magic. So that's HD Rumble. So what would excite me about PS5, Ishmael? It would have to be something about the console that hasn't been done before. And it would have to have a lot of great games to excite me. Not ports of games that have been released like 6 months ago, but brand new games. I don't mind if it's a PS4 game and a PS5 game released on the same day, a bit like Breath of the Wild was. It was released on the Wii U. It's some sort of haptic feedback. If that's what you want to call it, Ishmael, if that's what you want to call it, if you want to call it haptic feedback, okay, let's call it haptic feedback. But I haven't experienced haptic feedback because, to my knowledge, PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4 didn't have haptic feedback, and to my knowledge, Xbox 360 and Xbox One didn't have haptic feedback. Maybe there's some device you're speaking of out there that has haptic feedback, but I didn't have that device, and it's probably not a gaming device either. So that's all I'll say about that. You could call it haptic feedback, but I've never experienced haptic feedback before, at least not in a gaming system anyway. So, to get back to what I was saying, you asked me the question, I've answered the question. What would excite me about PS5 would be something brand new about the console that has not been done before, and I would have to have quality games at launch and after. So games and innovation would excite me about PS5. Because let's face it, like, it's 2019, I'm a 30-year-old man, I've had the PlayStation 1, the PlayStation 2, the PlayStation 3, and the PlayStation 4. It's going to take a lot more than specs to excite me, because it has all been done before. Graphics, power, specs. It has all been done before. Like, why would that excite me? I've never been able to play the latest Mortal Kombat game on the go. Like, I've never been able to sit on a train and play Mortal Kombat 11 online. I have never been able to do that, ever. I'm going to look at the live chat in a second. I've never been able to do that. So that was something that has never been done before. So let's see, let's wait and see for Sony. Let's wait and see until Sony officially reveal the PS5 to the world, and let's see if I'm excited. Can they do something that hasn't been done before? So you're not interested in graphics quality of games? No, not one bit. No. No. Just the ability to play them without there to be so much sorry, I just have to think about what to say, really. Ishmael, do you know people still play Tetris to this day? People are still getting high scores in Donkey Kong to this day. Look at those two games in your head now. Visualize those two games, Tetris and Donkey Kong. Do those games need Keanu Reeves to be popular, to be entertaining? You know, does Tetris feature Keanu Reeves? Does Donkey Kong feature Norman Reedus? Do they have ultra realistic graphics? No, they don't. Both games have an objective and a goal, and they're fun to play, and it's gameplay that interests me, Ishmael. Gameplay. With that response, how you view Resident Evil 2 Remake versus the original? I don't like when my words are used against me, Ishmael. I'm not having a go with you, but I don't like when my words are used. Like, don't twist my words, basically, is what I'm saying. What I'm trying to say to you is, I don't know how old you are, but I'm guessing you're around the same age as me. I'm a 30-year-old man. I grew up with the Sega Master System. In fact, before that video game console, I was actually playing like a bootleg Atari or Commodore console type thing. It was a plug-in device. You plug it into your TV and had all these games built in, and they were rip-offs of Atari basically. Then I had the Sega Master System. I've seen games go from, as a kid, I've seen games go from 8-bit to 16-bit to 32-bit to PlayStation type graphics to PlayStation 2 graphics, PlayStation 3. Like, I've seen graphics get to the highest stage they can get. And I'm like, okay, no, what else can you do? I always describe it as a kid in a birthday party, and there's a clown in front of him, and the clown was making balloon animals, and he's been doing that for the last hour. Okay, maybe for the first hour it was fun, but this clown is going to be here for 4 hours. Do I want to be watching this clown making balloon animals for the next 2 hours? No, I don't. Do something else. Do something different. And over the years I have experienced different things. And I have to say, it's been Nintendo that has provided that to me. Whether it was the motion controls of the Wii, the touchscreen of the DS, the glasses-free 3D of the 3DS, being able to play your games away from the TV on the Wii U, and being able to play your games away from your home on the Switch. All of that is innovation. It changes how you play the game, and it changes how you experience playing that game. So whether you're swinging your Wii remote playing a game on the Wii, or whether you're sitting on a train and playing Mortal Kombat 11 on Nintendo Switch, Nintendo has been the company that has provided me something different compared to graphics, because graphics has reached a point. I suppose what I'm really getting at here, Ishmael, is I'm happy with the standard of graphics today. I don't need them to get any better. I'm not saying I don't like games that have good graphics. I'm just saying that I don't need games that have good graphics for me to have a pleasant experience with the game. It's gameplay. It's always going to be, if you ask any gamer what is more important, they will answer with gameplay. Gameplay is vital. Now, to answer your question, sorry. How do I view Resident Evil 2? Okay, with that response. So I have to answer that question with that response. Okay. Well, that would mean then that every single game of PS5 would have to be a remake of my childhood game. That's an interesting way to put it, actually. Yeah, maybe that would excite me. Maybe a full-on remake of Spyro the Dragon 1, 2, and 3. Maybe if Rockstar pulled their finger out of the hole and stopped making shitty online games, maybe they could remake GTA 1, GTA London, GTA 2. I'd love that. Maybe they could remake all of my PS1 games. I'd love that, because it is nice to go back to Resident Evil Remake and see a game that I grew up playing looking the way that it does. But apart from improving the visuals, Capcom have added in a lot of gameplay elements as well. They've added a lot, so it's not just graphics, you know. It's the gameplay. It's the gameplay, Ishmael. It's always going to be the gameplay. The gameplay is going to sell. You know, what can it do with gameplay? You know, what can they do with the gameplay? So it's about developing quality games and putting them on hardware that's different. I mean, but again, I said earlier, like it's about preference. People's preferences are going to be different to somebody else's. You know, some people just like to sit in front of a 50-inch 4K TV and play their games on the TV, and that's fine. Like, I haven't said anything in this live stream along the lines of, oh, those people are weird. I never said that. I just all I'm saying. I'm not a fortune teller. I don't know, like, what the PS5 is going to be. All I'm telling you is that as of right now, there is nothing about the PS5 that excites me. Can I not say that? Am I not entitled to say that? Like, can that not be justified? Like, is that me saying something bad? Like, as of right now, nothing excites me about the PS5. I've never said that, you know, in 2 or 3 months' time, I won't be excited. It's as of right now. I agree, the gameplay is front and center when it comes to gameplay. After all, gameplay is what separates games from other types of media. You have just really made an amazing point there, Ishmael. An amazing point. That's exactly it. Because if games, look at Death Stranding. Look at Death Stranding. That is blurring the line between movies and video games. For God's sake, it has like a Hollywood star as the main character. What happens when the video game becomes the movie? As you said there, like, you know, and there's a very interesting example I'm going to give here. There's a game got released today on Nintendo Switch, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, and later this year there's going to be the Marvel Avengers video game from Square Enix. That game is coming to PS4 and Xbox One. Marvel Avengers Ultimate Alliance is coming to the Switch. Now, if you look at the two games, you'll see an interesting thing there. Marvel Ultimate Alliance is arcadey. It looks arcadey, it plays arcadey, and it feels arcadey. I have heard people use that word, arcadey. I'm not bashing people who've used that word. I'm just saying I've heard people using that word, and that tells me that people don't like those kind of games. But those arcadey games are what are called video games, because that's the way video games has been up until this point, up until we've had these ultra realistic video games. What has happened is we have a new type of video game now, where it's blurring the line between movie and video game. And this new Marvel game that's coming out later this year will be like a cinematic movie experience, where it'll have like ultra realistic character models, and it'll all be about like the cinematics, and it'll be all about the story, you know. But Marvel Ultimate Alliance will be primarily about the gameplay and action, and just I don't know. It's it all comes with a choice, really, like what kind of a gamer you are. But although gameplay is that important, if it succeeds on the front and fails on the graphics front, chances are the product will ultimately. What we need is cohesion and balance. It's just choice. People have a choice. I don't even think we. I don't. But like what we don't need is an hour and a half rant. That's what we don't need. This started with PS5 when I gave my opinion on the PS5. It doesn't need an hour and a half response, Ishmael. You know, really, it doesn't. What I have said is that right now there is nothing about the PS5 that excites me. And all I've said is compared to the early stages. It's not really, you don't have to even call it truth. It's not really a rant, like, it's not a rant, you know. It's not a rant. It's just that the conversation doesn't need to go this long. It doesn't need to go this extensive. All I've said was, compared to the early stages of the Nintendo Switch, there was a lot more about that excited me. At least I can't speak for other people, but there was a lot about the early stages of Nintendo NX that excited me a lot more than the early stages of PS5. I'm sorry, faster loading times just don't cut it for me. Backwards compatibility doesn't cut it for me. It just doesn't. Seeing Spider-Man 4, a game I don't even own on PS4, don't even want on PS4, running on a PS5 with faster loading times, I'm sorry, it doesn't do it for me. It just doesn't do it. And I agree with you. Thank you. You don't need to agree or disagree with me. It's just I don't like. I'm kind of used to it. I'm used to this in a way. For the last ever since I got the Wii, I've been having these kind of conversations with people, and they go way too long. They go way too in depth, and there's just absolutely no need for them. Everyone has a different preference. Everyone is different. I've learned that everyone has a different viewpoint. It's never as black and white as I think there is. It's not like people love Sony and hate Nintendo. It's not as black and white as that. People just have different viewpoints on those consoles, and they have different viewpoints on they just have different preferences. Everyone is different. That's what it comes down to. Everyone is different. Everyone is different. But look, you know, it won't be too long. Have they ever got? Oh, Jesus, man. No, they haven't. No, they haven't. So I'm just thinking in my head, kind of how to respond to that. I've been here for the last 10 years, hearing these things and having these conversations. It's Nintendo, Ishmael. Like, they've never been violent. They've never had a violent game. They're not going to start doing it now. But they do have Mortal Kombat 11 on their system, along with Doom and Wolfenstein and plenty of other hardcore violent games like Saints Row. They have LA Noire, Outlast 1 and 2. I mean, there's plenty of, you know, violent games on Nintendo's system right now, Nintendo Switch. Just as a company, Nintendo has never made a violent video game. They just don't need to make it. Like, does violence sell? You know, it's just, I don't know. You just have to look at things. I'm not telling you how to think. I'm not telling you how to look at things, but it's the The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild won Game of the Year in 2017. Okay, why did it win Game of the Year? Did it win Game of the Year because you can cut off heads? Did it win Game of the Year because Keanu Reeves starred in it? Did it win Game of the Year because it had the best graphics in the world? Did it win Game of the Year because it was the most powerful, because it was on the most powerful system in the world? No, Breath of the Wild won Game of the Year because it was a quality game with quality gameplay. And that pretty much sums up everything I've been trying to say. And you can't play that game on mobile phones, you can't play that game on a tablet, you can't play that game in Google Stadia, you can only play that game on Nintendo Switch, anywhere, anytime. No, I meant a violent confrontation. Oh! Oops, my bad. My bad. I read that completely wrong. I thought you meant the Nintendo ever get violent, sorry. I wouldn't use the word violent, I would use the word confrontational. Yeah. They have, yeah. Not violent, but I've had a few rants with people in the past about this that have gotten fairly confrontational. But look, looking back on it now, like many years later, it's laughable to think that they got confrontational. On both sides, on my side and their side, really, to be quite honest with you. I just find it laughable. I really find it laughable because I'm not going to change, they're not going to change, Nintendo's not going to change, Sony's not going to change, nothing is going to change. So why be confrontational about it, you know? We're all different. We all have different preferences. Sony have their way of doing things. Nintendo have their way of doing things. We're going to have our own preferences. None of that is going to change. Why? It's laughable, like. It's just laughable to get that confrontational about things, you know. And ultimately, it doesn't affect us, you know. It doesn't affect us. God almighty. So, when Sony are ready to unveil their next generation, I don't think they've confirmed it as PS5 though. That now I don't know for sure, but I'm almost certain. I'm almost certain that Sony haven't confirmed that it's called the PlayStation 5, but they have confirmed the development of a next generation like gaming platform. But it's obvious they're going to call it the PlayStation 5. So when Sony are ready to reveal the PlayStation 5 to the world, let's see what it is. Let's see what it can do. Let's see what kind of games are on it. And let's see if it will excite me. And we'll have a conversation about that when they do. Like the Switch has been out for the last 3 years. Obviously I know what the Switch is, I know what it can do, I know what games are out on it. And again, sorry now not to repeat myself over and over again, it's one of the things I do, Ishmael, unfortunately. Like, again, all I was saying is, like, for me it wasn't a rant, for me it wasn't a console war, for me it was just comparing the early stages of PS5 to the early stages of Nintendo Switch and describing how excited I was for Nintendo Switch in the early days compared to how excited I am for PS5 in the early stages. And like right now, all we know about PS5 is that it's backwards compatible and that it has faster loading times, and all I'm saying is my honest opinion is that does not excite me. The early stages of Nintendo Switch was being able to realize that at launch, and actually one of the things that actually excited me as well was how soon I was going to be getting my hands on the Switch, because it was really just around the corner. From when they started talking about it and when they revealed it to the launch, we knew it was around the corner. Like, it was so soon. With a little of Resident Evil 2 sprinkled in or something. Well, like, I think you asked me earlier. Actually, you asked me earlier. What would I prefer, original games or ports? It's funny. It's funny. I seem to bring in Switch at every opportunity. It's not deliberate, but the thing with ports is, I don't want ports on PS5. I don't need ports on PS5. Now, we haven't seen what the PS5 is. I don't know what the PS5 is, and that's what the whole conversation is. We don't know what PS5 is. If PS5 is a box that you put under your TV or above your TV, wherever you want to put it, and you play your games on the TV like you do with PS4 and PS3, then I don't want ports, because they're going to be exactly the same games that were on PS4. They're going to look better, blah blah blah. Not interested in ports. I want original games. The thing with ports on the Switch, however, I asked what titles you're looking forward to. That's a funny question, Ishmael, because they haven't confirmed any PS5 games, so I can't really answer that question, Ishmael. I'm not being sarcastic when I say that. I'm just saying they haven't confirmed any PS5 games right now. Like, I was excited to play the next Zelda game on the Nintendo NX because they confirmed that as a launch title, and it was a game that hadn't been released before. That was a game that I was excited for, and in fact, Square Enix were actually talking about Dragon Quest 11 coming to the Switch as well. So those are games that I was looking forward to getting. But Sony haven't actually announced any PS5 games, so I can't really answer that question, Ishmael, unfortunately. So the thing about ports when they come to Switch is, like, I actually own quite a few ports on PS4, not official games. Oh, you mean a wish list? GTA 6, Rockstar, pull the finger out. You're sitting on a mountain of cash that you have made from GTA 5 over the last almost 5 years. A lot of that money from shark cards, from microtransactions with GTA Online. Sitting on a pile of cash. Get off that pile of cash. Put that cash towards the development of GTA 6. Pull the finger out, release GTA 6. That's that game. I can't think of any other games on the top of my head, but just, and when it's and a proper GTA, please. A proper GTA, please. Right? Not a GTA, but a focus online. I mean, I want story. I want single player experience. Okay, I don't want online. So that's kind of the only game that I can think of at the moment from the top of my head. But just original games. Original games. Like, it shouldn't even have to be GTA, games I know and love. Like, when I played the PlayStation for the first time, PlayStation 1, all these games were new to me. Metal Gear Solid was new to me. Final Fantasy was new to me. Now, I know there were already established games in Japan, but those games for me were brand new. Never played them. Resident Evil was new to me. Spyro the Dragon was new to me. I want new games. I want to look at these games and say, oh my god, I've never seen a game like this before. I want this game. I don't want a port of, God of War, or see a port of Red Dead Redemption 2. I don't want ports of games I've already played. Now, what I was talking about earlier, Ishmael, was when a port comes to Switch, it all of a sudden becomes the portable version of that game. And that's the selling point of Switch ports. That's the selling point. Right there. Like, I've had a lot of games. I've had Outlast 1 and 2 on PS4. Surprise, surprise, I got it on Switch. Spyro the Dragon, Reignited Trilogy, have it on PS4. Surprise, surprise, I'm going to buy it on Switch. Why? Because it becomes the portable version. And if anybody has an argument against that, they're kind of stupid, because those are the same people who would have bought like the portable version of a game on PSP or the portable version of a game on the 3DS or the DS. There's always been portable versions of games. So when a port comes to Switch, you're buying, like when The Witcher 3 comes to Nintendo Switch, it'll be the portable version of The Witcher 3. The same with Doom, Wolfenstein, Mortal Kombat. Actually, sorry, those games are not ports. What am I saying? But the same with any other port on Switch, they're all of a sudden the portable version. So that's why I don't have an issue with ports on the Switch. I know it sounds like I'm putting the PS4 and PS5 beside the Switch. I know it sounds like that on paper, but that's not what it is at all. That's not. See, this is what always happens when I try to have a conversation like this. It turns into a rant where it sounds like I'm saying Nintendo is better. It's not that. It's not that at all. Again, it all started with the PS5. All I said was, as of right now, nothing excites me about the PS5, because I'm not excited about faster loading times. I'm not excited about backwards compatibility. I want to see what the console is. I want to see what it can do. I want to see what it can do differently compared to the PS4. What is it about the PS5 that makes it different to the PS4, apart from the usual better graphics, better specs, better power? I'm talking like that because that genuinely bores me. I've seen that with the PS2, I've seen it with the PS3, I've seen it with the PS4. I do not want to see it again. Do something different, Sony. That will excite me about the PS5. So that's all I really was saying. And again, I was just saying that, you know, it's the early stages of PS5. I'm aware of that. But the early stages of Nintendo NX just excited me a lot more. All the rumors and leaks and reports that it was going to be this hybrid console. You were going to be able to play your games on the TV. You were going to be able to take your games with you. It was going to be the one experience, the universal experience, the one game, you know, that would be handheld and console. Really excited me. When that got confirmed, I was even more excited. Hearing the kind of games that were coming out in it excited me. That's how about VR? I would like a complete VR experience, VR out of the box. PlayStation VR is just, it's a mess. It's an absolute mess. It's like you're like an astronaut taking off into fucking space, man. It's just, there's absolutely no need. The amount of wires and boxes, it's not an accessible experience, and it's look, it's gone down in price, but I wonder why. It's considered a flop, really, to be quite honest. It's I mean, you consider the install base of PS4, you compare that install base to the VR, yeah, it's a flop. It's a flop. So I want VR that comes out of the box, not built with a box, which is what Nintendo Labo VR is. I bought it, I played it for a while. I like it, but I had a bad experience with it. Yeah. Actually, let's move away from PS5. Fucking 2 hours into the stream, man. I've spent too much time talking. Look, basically, I want to round off the PS5 discussion, okay? I want to round off the PS5 discussion. Right now, we don't know a whole lot about the PS5. So, as of right now, there's nothing that really excites me about the PS5. It's going to take a lot more than faster loading times and backwards compatibility to excite me about the PS5. So, I hope that Sony reveal more information about the PS5 very soon. Now, that out of the way. VR. So the only VR system I have right now is the Nintendo Labo VR kit. So I have the cardboard VR goggles. I've played a few games. I've played the built-in games that come with the Nintendo Labo VR. I played Super Smash Bros. Ultimate in VR. I've played what was the other one? I played Super Mario Odyssey in VR, and I've played Breath of the Wild in VR, but I actually only got sick playing it. The only problem with it is you're still not getting a complete VR experience. You have to build, you have to physically build the fucking headset with cardboard. Like, do you realize the amount of patience you need to do that? It's rewarding in the end. Believe me, it's very rewarding in the end. But it's also tiring and stressful. So the situation that happened to me was, I finally decided I was going to build the Tycon blaster. They're called Tycons. Everything you create in Labo is called a Tycon. So the Tycon blaster is essentially a bazooka. And that's a VR game. You know, you're shooting aliens with your Tycon blaster, with your bazooka. So it actually literally took me 2 days. Well, an evening and a morning basically, because I kind of completed most of it in the evening, and then I went back to it on the morning. It was on Easter Sunday. I'll always remember it. So I had gotten to the final stages of the VR of the Tycon blaster, and it told me to pull the trigger to see was it working. Trigger wasn't working. The most important, this was down to me. I didn't build it properly. I must have messed up with the elastic band. Something went wrong anyway. The trigger didn't go according to plan. It didn't work. So it obviously, like, without the trigger, it was useless. So I absolutely raged. Like, I just smashed it. Like, I smashed it and smashed it. It's currently my Tycon blaster is a pile of cardboard squashed up in a plastic bag in my bedroom, and that's where it'll remain. I'm hoping that somebody out there is selling a completed Tycon blaster. I'd actually buy that. I would. It's a good experience, though. I will say it is a good. I like VR overall. I like VR, but I'd like a company to release a VR system. At times I'm going to have to wrap up this stream in give it about 20 more minutes. It's the weekend. I've no plans in the morning, so it's fine. Yo, Ishmael, are you still there? Let me know if you're still there, because if you're not there, then I know that you're not there, and I just basically I don't want to be talking to myself, and I'd much rather go to sleep if you're not there. Basically, if you are there, I'll continue having the conversation. It's no problem. So just let me know in the comment section below there at the live chat if you're still there. VR. I love VR, man. I really do. I think it's an amazing experience. It's unlike anything out there. It's so different. It's the definition of immersive. Woohoo! 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 I'm glad you're still here. You hear immersive being thrown around a lot in the video game industry. You really do. I remember Nintendo throwing around with the 3DS, with the glasses free 3D, because you didn't need to put on the goggles, and they were saying you're so immersed into the game. But let's face it, like, even though you were looking at the screen and you know the visuals were popping out in 3D, there was still a 3D world around you. Your hands were visible. The room around you everything around you was visible. You were looking at a screen. You're holding a screen, and you're looking at a screen, but everything else around you is the real world. When you put a pair of VR goggles or VR headset on you, there is no screen. You are in the screen. You are in the world. If you look to your left, you won't see Granny doing her sewing. Look to the right and see little Jimmy colouring his book. Look up and see the ceiling. Look down and see a cat. When you're in the world of VR, because that's what it is, it's a world. When you put on that headset and put on those goggles, you are in a world. You look to your left and you will see a video game character looking back at you. You look to your right and you will see a goal post. You look up and you will see a sky. You look down and you see a soccer pitch. That is VR. You are in the world. There is no more of an immersive sense than VR. I firmly believe that VR is the future of not just gaming, but entertainment as a whole. It's just that right now it's in a beta form. It's in a beta form. It's not quite complete. And I'd love for a company to just release a complete product. The closest we have right now to a complete product is Nintendo Labo VR, but it still requires you to fucking build it out of cardboard. I got it because it's VR. I wouldn't have gotten it for any other reason. I got it because it was VR and it was dirt cheap. I mean, for God's sake. Like, I mean, compared to paying 400 fucking euro. Like, I only paid 70 euro, and that came with the full, like, package. It came with so many Tycons you could build, so many games to play. Like, I mean, compared to, I know it's not 400 euro now, but still, like, it was the cheapest option. I personally think it's the, yeah, same here, man. Thank you. I have a buddy who is adamant that it isn't the future. He's so adamant that it isn't, but I really do think it is. There's also Oculus Rift. I've experienced Oculus Rift. I think it was Oculus Rift. Anyway, it was like a roller coaster one, and this fucker had me standing up. This fucker had me standing. I think he was taking pleasure out of people shitting their pants in the VR experience, because this is my first time experiencing VR, and I've realised now, seeing other people playing VR, that you're going to be sitting down. This fucker had me standing up. First time experiencing VR in my entire life, standing up, and all I could, like, the experience I had, oh Jesus, I thought my legs were wobbling, man. I was like somebody who had 2 pints of fucking whiskey. Seriously, man, I was wobbling and everything. This fucker was loving it, like. Anyway, so Oculus Rift I experienced. I just want, but the thing with Oculus Rift is you have to have a very powerful PC, which costs a lot of money. You see, that's you know, it's there's a thing there. Like, I think we just forget sometimes. Like, these are all amazing technologies. These are all amazing technologies. Okay, Google Stadia, amazing technology. Oculus Rift, amazing technology. Powerful consoles, amazing technology. But sometimes we forget the middleman. we forget what we need to get there. Like, to experience Oculus Rift, you need to have a powerful PC. You know what I mean? Like, if you have a powerful PC, that's great. But not everyone has a powerful PC. So it isn't about getting Oculus Rift, it's about getting Oculus Rift and a powerful PC. So what I'm hoping for is a company to release a complete VR experience where you just buy it, and it's a VR. I'm too tired to describe what it was. A VR system, essentially, a VR system that hooks up to your. I was going to say to your TV, but why would you even need it on your TV if it's going to be VR? But like, just a VR gaming system. You know, a VR gaming system that you don't need a system to work with. It kind of comes with its own thing. Let's say they cross Xbox Connect with VR. They probably will. But again, like, you have to have the Xbox. You have to have Connect. My point is, I want a company to release. What the fuck? Sorry, I just caught a glimpse of the moon there. I was like, that's weird. There's the cloud there. And then, yeah, sorry, I was just distracted by the moon there. There was a cloud covering it, but then the cloud just went away and I could just see the moon. Anyway, what needs to happen is they need to release a VR gaming system where you just have the system, it has the VR headset, it has a place to put in the games, connect up to your TV, put on your headset and experience VR. A complete VR experience, not a half-assed attempt at VR, but a complete VR experience, and something that you don't need like a console for. That everything comes with it is basically my point. No point in buying a toaster with no bread. Here's my point. No point in buying a toaster and having no bread to go along with it. You know, I can go out and buy an Oculus Rift right now, but hey,
what's an Oculus Rift to me if I don't have anything to put it onto? You know? So VR, yeah, I definitely think VR is it's anybody that disputes VR as being the future of entertainment, quite simply, is an idiot. And Anthony Keenan, I'm calling you all right now, because I know that you watch my streams now and again. It'd be gas if you watched it all the way to the 2 hour and 17-minute stage. But Anthony Keenan, I'm calling you out. You're adamant that VR is not the future of entertainment. I'm telling you it is, Anthony. A self-contained VR system with all the additional features. Exactly, Ishmael. An all-inclusive. Oh yeah, Ishmael. I'm going to round off. I'm going to move away from gaming. I'm going to move away from gaming for the next 10 minutes of this live stream. Then I'm going to end the live stream and I'm going to get some sleep. So to kind of round off everything I've said. So ideally it should be like the Switch. Kind of, yeah, an all-in-one kind of a thing. So just to kind of round up what we've been talking about. So with the PS5, all we know is it has faster loading times. For PS4 games, like Spider-Man, and it has backwards compatibility. But apart from that, that's all we know about PS5. That doesn't excite me. So as of right now, I am not really excited for PS5. There's plenty of time for Sony to reveal the PS5 100% and present it to the world, and to show games and to show what the console can do. But as of right now, I ain't excited. So that's that side of things. And I think that VR is the future of entertainment, but it just needs to be done in a complete way first. Now I'm going to move away from gaming for the next 10 minutes. And I'm actually going to talk about the LGBTQ plus movement, which is what it is. It's a movement. I have an issue with the LGBTQ plus movement. I don't have an issue with gay people, lesbian people, bisexual people, trans people, or queer people, and all the various pluses. I don't have an issue with those people. I have an issue with the movement. Do you know right now in Canada, teachers are being taught who doesn't? Sorry, who doesn't what? Who doesn't what? Let me repeat myself. I have an issue. I have an issue with the LGBTQ plus movement, and that's what it is. They actually acknowledge themselves as a movement. I was watching Sky News recently. It was the London Pride, and they describe themselves as a movement. So they're actually describing themselves as a movement. I'm actually not calling them a movement. They're calling themselves a movement. I have an issue with the movement. I don't have an issue with actual gay, lesbian, bisexual, transsexual, or queer people. It's the movement I have an issue with. Now in Canada, teachers are being taught, teachers forced to attend, listen to this. This is what they are calling it now in Canada, and this is not a joke. This is not a joke. LGBTTTIQQAAPP. No, I didn't just get a stroke live on Greenhub Gaming. That is exactly what people in Canada want you to call them now. I would presume that's every single type of sexuality that is acknowledged in 2019. So far. That is absolutely That's insanity. That is absolute insanity. But that's not the thing I want to talk about, actually. I want to talk about their hypocrisy. Their sheer hypocrisy. The LGBTQ plus movement preach about equality and inclusion. How they want gays, lesbians, bisexual, transsexual and queers to be treated like everybody else. Yet in Limerick, a county in Ireland where I live, Ishmael, I live in Ireland, there's a county called Limerick. The LGBTQ plus movement, thank God we don't live in Canada, because I wouldn't like to say that over and over again, the LGBTQ, whatever it's called. The LGBTQ plus movement in Limerick are building student accommodation, a college student accommodation specifically for LGBTQ plus people. They're calling it rainbow housing. Now I don't know if this building is already built or if they are building it, but they're going to be using this building just for LGBTQ plus. That is the opposite to equality. It is the opposite of inclusion. It's actually segregation. They're segregating their own people. The same movement that is fighting against segregation are actually segregating their own people by saying, here is a specific building for you. This is where LGBTQ plus people go. You're segregating your own people. If you want to be treated like everybody else, if you want equality, if you want inclusion, then go into regular accommodation like everybody else. Be like everybody else. So that is just so hypocritical. Separating yourself from everybody else, having a specific accommodation. And what angers me is in Ireland there's over 10,000 homeless. Some of those homeless are sleeping on concrete floors in cold, wet, damp nights. But not more than they'll be lucky if they have one blanket over them on the concrete. 10,000 homeless. 10,000 homeless, and the LGBTQ plus movement want to use a building to house LGBTQ plus when they could easily be put into regular accommodation. So once again, that is not inclusion and equality. It's actually segregation. You are separating LGBTQ plus from society. Remember the story of the black lady who decided she wasn't going to sit in the back of the bus anymore because she didn't want to be segregated. She wanted to be included. She wanted equality, so she wanted to sit at the front of the bus with everybody else. Well, the LGBTQ plus are taking a step back by segregating themselves from society, because that is what they're doing. That is what they're doing. Also, to move away from that crazy movement, also in California, political correctness has gone insane. You can't use the following words. Laws have been changed, so you cannot use the term manhole. It now has to be described as a maintenance hole, and you literally cannot say he or she. You have to call them them and they. Them and they. I shit you not. Ishmael, I don't know if you're still there. I don't know if you're still in the live chat, but feel free to let me know what you think of that absolute craziness. That is that is happening. I personally think the craziest thing there that has happened is the fact that in Limerick, a county in Ireland, that they're actually going to have a separate student accommodation building for LGBTQ plus people. It's the opposite to what that movement stands for. Which is why I don't believe this movement has moved away from fighting for rights and equality, because they have rights and equality, they have inclusion. They now see themselves as a brand, a very powerful brand, and they now see their sexualities as products, and they're selling these products as like superior products to straight people. That's my opinion. And they do that by rainbow housing. You know, it's like, come on, like you don't need that. So Ishmael, I don't know if you're still in the live chat, man, but I just thought I'd round off the live stream by talking about how crazy our world has become. And I was talking to a friend, Anthony, and like he has friends. He knows people who are gay and even married, and he tells me that they have absolutely no interest whatsoever in this movement. They don't need this movement in their life. They don't need to go around with rainbow flags. They don't need to be part of it. And a lot of them just see how crazy it is. And I think that if enough of those people, you know, actually stood up and said, you know what, we don't need this. We don't need this movement in our lives, you know. Like, it's been brought into schools now and everything. You know, apparently it's okay for a 7-year-old to discuss their sexuality, apparently now in today's world. So, yeah, so Ishmael, tell I move away from video. I think I've silenced you there, have I? Are you still there? You alright? Have I went a bit too have I went a bit too controversial on you there, have I? Are you afraid Google might censor you? I know that an Irish investigative journalist named Gemma Doherty got her YouTube channel shut down there recently because she offended YouTube by saying things that she shouldn't have said that YouTube don't like her to say. Thing with me is I don't have to worry because I don't have a huge I think Ishmael is gone. Amazing, isn't it? I don't know why Ishmael is gone. Maybe he's still there. He's still there, Ishmael. Just let me know if he's still there. Just yes or no. And if you don't have to agree with me or disagree with me, just let me know in the live chat if you're still there. But because I just want to like officially, if you're still in the live chat, I just want to officially like say goodbye to you, like an end the stream kind of a thing, you know. Just thought I'd round off the live chat by talking about those issues. It's amazing the amount of people that will call me a homophobic for saying what I said. Amazing, isn't it? Amazing the amount of people that would get offended by what I just said there. Yo, Ishmael, you're still there, man? I don't think he's there. And again, like it's the movement I have an issue with, because of what they've turned into. They've turned into a powerful brand. They're selling sexualities as superior products. They see themselves as a superior brand, and they see their sexualities as superior. Not the people, but the movement. It's a movement here that I'm talking about. That's the most important thing. People need to listen to, and people need to get and understand. It's the movement I have an issue with. And I love just tearing apart their absolute hypocrisy, because there's a huge hypocrisy in in Limerick anyway, specifically, again, county in Ireland, like there's a huge amount of hypocrisy when a movement that's all about inclusion and equality decides to build a separate building to accommodate college students who are gay, lesbian, bisexual, transsexual, queer. You're actually segregating, you're separating them from society. So you want to be treated like everybody else, but you want to have a separate building. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, and it's the same at pubs as well. Like, I mean, and bars. You know, gay pubs and gay bars. They want to have separate bars. They want to have separate pubs. But then again, it is the same people who want to have equality. And I have no issue whatsoever with gay, lesbian, bisexual, transsexual. I have no issue. And the funny, I guarantee you, the majority of those people will just say, why would I want to have a separate building? They won't. No, they'll probably go there for obvious reasons, if you know what I mean. But most people will look at that and say, oh, I wonder what's going on here, kind of a thing, you know. But that's for whoever to decide there. Like, but I honestly think that the majority of gay And I am back. Am I back? I'm back. My battery died. Damien! Yeah, man, I am up very late. I'm up way too late, to be honest. Way too late. Nonetheless, man, welcome to live stream, man. Thanks for dropping by. Probably chat for like another. What time is it now? 25 to 3. Holy shit. I'll chat for another 10 minutes. Because you've joined the stream, buddy, and I appreciate that. And like, I'm not going to leave the stream just as you left, because that would be rude. That would be rude. I ain't rude. So Damien, how are you keeping, buddy? How are things with you, man? 2 hours and soon to be 35 minutes. Damn, that was a long stream. I started off playing Resident Evil 2 Remake. I was playing No Way Out. That mode is so tough. Like, you have to kill one. So and then that was like about it was about 2 hours ago. That's good, man. That's good. I'm actually doing very good, man. I'm actually doing very good. But today was actually funny. Well, not funny, but this evening my Nintendo account got hacked by some dude in Saudi Arabia. Oh man, it's a funny sequence of events. Basically, I turned on my Switch, and I noticed that I was signed out. I left for a sec. Now I'm back. No problem, Mishman. No problem. I'm going to be here for like another 10 minutes. So I turned on my my Switch, and I noticed that I was logged out of my Nintendo account, and I was like, that is really strange. So then I put in my password, and it wouldn't accept my password, and I was like, oh shit, what is going on here? Yeah, I did. Thankfully I did. But here's what happened, right? So I put in my password, they wouldn't accept my password. So then I sent a password reset link to my email. Right, but then I looked at my emails, and I was getting all these emails. I had all these emails from Nintendo. I never checked my emails, you see. I never checked my emails. I had all these emails from Nintendo saying user ID successfully changed and stuff like that, and I was like, oh my fucking god. So then, like, I changed my password, and then I was logging into my Nintendo account on my phone, and then I could see you were here, had 10 minutes left 10 minutes ago. I know, but my buddy joined the live stream, and I'm not going to leave just as he joined. I'm going to chat to my buddy. So then I realised that this fucker had been signing into my Nintendo account since Thursday. I was going to say yesterday, but technically it was 2 days ago now. So then I realised, holy shit, some motherfucker in Saudi Arabia has hacked my account. So I managed to change my password. I changed my password on my email as well, just to be on the safe side. But the weird thing is, all he did, he or she, or whatever it was, all they did was they changed my profile picture to some Breath of the Wild character. The guy's name was called Azua, so he changed his sign-in name to Azua or something. But all my games are there, all my download games are there, and my save data is still there. So the only thing they did was they wiped my friends as well. They wiped my friends list, so I have to re-add my friends. Thankfully, so bank details seem to be fine. I checked my transactions about 3 or 4 times. I was paranoid, Damien. I was paranoid. Thankfully, there was no transactions made. They didn't buy any games on the eShop either. So far so good. Like, hopefully I won't wake up tomorrow morning and my bank account is just empty or some shit. So yeah, that was quite an eventful evening. But other than that, I'm actually doing very well. I'm actually doing very well recently, and I'm glad you're doing well as well, man. So what I was actually doing is surely he couldn't play. I think he actually was. I think he was playing my games. Yeah, because once you log in, you have access. No. Wait. Let me think. He would have to download them onto his Switch. But I think he did, because I checked recent activity, and he was playing like Cuphead, and he was playing Super Mario Maker 2 as well. So what he did was he actually downloaded the games, but he won't be able to play them now because he'll be logged out of because I changed my password. So unless he or she hacks back into my account tomorrow morning, he won't be able to play them. So yeah, man, it was so luckily enough anyway. So my PSN got hacked. I got back into it, changed my email. Thankfully, he didn't delete any games or delete any save data or use my bank account or anything like that. So I actually got off lucky. So that was a strange evening, but I'm doing okay other than that. If I gave you my account, wouldn't be able to play mine from PS4. Yeah, no, I think that's what it is. But I think I'd be able, like, if I had your account, right, what I'd be able to do is I'd be able to re-download your games. Like, they wouldn't be on. Like, if I had your account, and if I signed into my PS4, if I signed into your account on my PS4, your games wouldn't be on the system, but I'd be able to re-download them. I think that's how it works anyway. So it was a strange evening. I got a mini heart attack, man. I thought that all my games were gone. Because that's what happened to me when my PS4 got hacked. So I was really worried. Like, I really was worried, but you didn't get to that stage yet. It won't work because of activation, but that's handy. There's probably I think there is a mode to actually do that on Switch, but I haven't checked. I really got to fix my privacy settings, man. I really have. After that, no, like, I'm actually half scared. But yeah, man, Jesus, it was an eventful evening. You can download, but will be locked. That's a handy feature. I don't even know if that's on the Switch, but it should be on the Switch. That's a handy feature, man. 100%. I gotta change my privacy settings on PS4, man. I really do. God Almighty, man. If you saw me, like, I was getting the shakes, man. I was getting the shakes, man. I was already getting withdrawal symptoms, man. I was already getting withdrawal symptoms. Like just the thought of me not being able to play those games, man. I swear to God, I was getting pre-withdrawal system. Withdrawal. I can't even talk so late. But look up any dodgy websites on Switch. Look up any dodgy websites on Switch. No, the thing doesn't even have a browser. That's the thing. Oh my God, who told you? Who told you about that? Who told you about that? It'll be legal in 15 years' time. I'm only joking. But Jesus Christ. On that note, so what I was actually going to do was I was talking about a few things actually. Milkman the Gamer was here for a while, and we had a long chat about PS5. Long story short there is I want to hear more about the PS5 before I'm 100% excited for PS5. Did someone get your email? That's what I was thinking. Maybe somebody got my email somehow. I don't know how, but they probably got my email somehow. And that's what I was thinking. But whoever it is in there is from Saudi Arabia, which is just, I find it kind of funny, to be honest. Did they access through your email? I think they did. I think they were able to change my password through my email. That's why I changed my password as well on my email. So I managed to change my password. So hopefully now I'll be fine now for tomorrow or the next couple of days. But here, buddy, I don't know if you were listening to me. I don't know if you were in the live chat when I was talking about it, but the world is getting more and more crazier. Damien, did you know in Limerick, the LGBTQ plus movement are building college accommodation called Rainbow Housing, and it's college accommodation specifically for gay, lesbian, bisexual, transsexual, and queer people. And I just find that to be the most hypocritical thing ever. Like, I don't have an issue with gay, lesbian, transsexual, bisexual, queer people. I have an issue with the movement. They're so hypocritical. The movement preach about equality and inclusion, yet they're segregating the very people they're trying to include, because they're separating them from regular society. They're saying don't go into regular housing, don't go into regular accommodation, go into this building that's separate and it's only for LGBTQ plus. It's just so hypocritical, so hypocritical. And also in California, political correctness has gone insane. You can't use manhole. You can't say manhole anymore. You have to call it a maintenance hole. Does that mean that when gay people are going at it, they have to turn around and say, like, did I have to call it a maintenance hole? Just curious there. And that you literally can't say he or she anymore. You have to call them they and them. What a world. What a fucking world we live in, man. It's all crazy. It's it's the only word to put it, like. It's the only word to describe it, man. It is crazy, like it's the definition of crazy. It's clinically crazy, like, you know what I mean? It's clinically crazy, like. It's not even like, what can I say, like, you know, like when you say crazy, like you hear something on the news, oh, that's crazy. Or you just say it as a meaningless word, but like it's actually like clinically crazy. Like what they're doing to the world is actually clinically crazy. Oh yeah, and before I forget, I don't know if you've seen it on my Facebook. Right? But in Canada, now we all know Canada is a crazy country anyway. We all know that. But they have a new name. You know how it's called LGBTQ plus, right? Well, if you're living in Canada, you better hope the fuck that you don't have a speech impairment, because I do. I still have a speech. I can't even say a speech impairment. That's at all. So you're fucked if you do in Canada, because it's now called the LGBTTTIQQAAPP. I mean, it sounds like Elton John had a stroke. I mean, try saying that 10 times fast without swallowing your tongue. So that's also happening. It's just like, oh my god. Yeah, some teachers in Canada are being forced to start using that term. Apparently it includes everybody now, but I don't see an S in there for straight. Unless is there a H in it? Wait, is there a H? There's so many letters in there now, because H could be heterosexual. I don't know if there's a H in it, but apparently they want to include everybody now, like, it's insane. And then I really have to, no, there's no H in there, so there's no heterosexual, there's no S for straight, so they want to include everybody except straight and heterosexual, or straight and heterosexual is the same thing anyway, but crazy. Oh, it's mental. Mental, absolutely mental. I feel like I could just chat until like tomorrow morning or something. It's still 10 to 3. Anything else crazy happening in the world? Well, my life is just crazy, as you know. But I've kind of accepted my life now as what it is. I look at the good side of things now. It's not as crazy as I made myself think. Must be that exactly not. We should actually write that in a flag and just wear that as a flag. But yeah, as I always said, like I have no issue whatsoever with gay, lesbian, bisexual, transsexual, queer people. I have no issue at all with it. It's just a movement. Like, I can guarantee you, and I keep saying this, but I can guarantee everyone, the majority of gay, lesbian, bisexual, transsexual, and queer people have absolutely no involvement or interest in this movement. They won't go to the parades, they won't wave any flags. This movement see themselves as a powerful brand, and they're selling these sexualities as products, and they see themselves as superior to heterosexual people, and it's gotten to their head. Like, it's gotten to their head now. So it's, you know, they wave this flag with so much pride, but it's not pride, it's superiority. That flag is waved in superiority, and I know, just going absolutely insane. Like, building Victor, welcome. Wait, am I saying welcome back, or am I saying, oh, you were here about 2 hours ago? I'm still here. I'm still here, Victor. I didn't go anywhere. I'm always here. But I will be going very shortly though, as I'm chatting to my buddies, I should say, Victor and Damien. I think Nicholas is gone. I think I might have offended him, I don't know. But oh jeez, the world is just, I could sit here for the next 2 hours talking about how crazy the world is. Like, I mean, things like nobody believed me. I swear to God, like, I was talking about these things, and I wasn't the only person. Many people were talking about this, like about 10 years ago or 15 years ago. I said the world is going to get a lot more crazier, and they wouldn't believe me. They just wouldn't believe me. Like Joseph fucking Seed, man, in the end, like, you know, I was right. I mean, and if people think things are crazy now, like the next like 15 years or so, things are going to get really, really scary. Like, the most darkest and depraved behaviors are going to be celebrated. You know, like, everything, slowly but surely, everything that is bad is becoming good, and everything that is becoming good is becoming bad. Slowly but surely, the world will be unrecognizable in 15 years' time. And like, I swear to God, like I don't want to be part of that world, to be honest. I really don't. But like, all these crazy things that are happening, like with political correctness and what's happening with the LGBTQ plus movement, is just it's just a small sign of things to come, really, to be honest. It's going to get a lot worse. A lot worse. Like, if you look back in history, like, a lot of things that were really, like, fucked up are now actually everyday behaviour. It's crazy. Victor was confused. Victor was like, what is going on? Oh God. I'm sorry, Victor. I'm just talking about how crazy the world is. And how crazier it's going to get in 15 years' time. It's just to put things into perspective here, Victor. Currently in Ireland, it's actually 5 to 3 in the morning. But I have no plans in the morning, so I'm fine. It's all cool. It's all cool. And I could just sit here and just lay my head back here on the couch, and I could just like talk like some kind of like drunk man at a party. Did I ever tell you the time? Did I ever tell you the time that I miss Bob Dylan? And you know, you'd be surprised now. You'd be surprised now by, you know, the kind of person he is, like, you know. You wouldn't think it, like. That's what I feel like now. Just sitting here rambling about random shit. I could though. Maybe I'll do it until the next few minutes. I'm just too lazy to get up off the couch and go to bed, to be honest. Are you still there, Damien? Did I put you to sleep? But yeah, the world is definitely going to get a lot more crazier. Like, what's happening is, like, they are psychopaths that are actually running the world. You know? Absolute psychopaths that are running the world. And what's happening is they're actually normalizing. Woohoo! My body is still here. My body is still here. I'm going to chat for a few more minutes because my buddy is still in the live chat. They're normalizing. They're normalizing evil, to be quite honest with you. You know, slowly but surely they're normalizing it. And it's going to be really, you'll be up on. Oh my God, man, I actually will. It would be so funny if I actually fell asleep and just left the live chat going. That would be so good. That would be so funny. But yeah, I just look at this word now and I just, like, I know, like, it doesn't bother me as much as it used to. Okay, about this. Star Area 51. It's actually interesting, really, because it's been proven now as a joke. The whole thing is supposed to be a joke, and, you know, funny memes and stuff, and it's. But like, if it was serious, and what they should have actually done, was, like, you don't advertise the fact that you're going to storm one of the most heavily protected facilities in the world. Like, imagine if they didn't put up the Facebook event and just surprised people. Like, these Area 51 security guards, the guys who are in the Jeep, they'll probably see, like, maybe like 3 or 4 people show up every now and again, and they're like, they come down, they're like, lads, you have to go. If you step in now, we'll have to shoot you. Like 3 or 4 people, you know, and they're like, you know, these guys on the Jeep, and they're like, yo Ted, we got some more visitors, let's go down and intimidate them. There's like 3 or 4 people down there. I know it's a joke, but it's America. People will attempt, or they probably will attempt, yeah. They probably will attempt. It's going to be interesting to see what happens, like, in September. But imagine if it was real for a second. Imagine if I lowered the tone of my voice. No, but imagine if it wasn't a joke, and it was a dark web event. So these people on the internet, on the dark web, organised an event to storm Area 51, and nobody knew about it. Only the people who were going on the dark web. So, you know, Ted and Harry, you know, who work as security for Area 51 in their Jeep, and they see like 3 or 4 people showing up every now and again. They're so used to the routine, you know. What would happen? What would happen, right? If an army, if thousands, 500,000 people actually showed up, what would happen? Would they be able to take on 500,000 people? Would they kill 500,000 people? They'll kill them all just to hide whatever shit. But like 500,000 people though, if it was a real, like, I'm not talking about like, you know, Adam who likes anime, who likes to make funny memes. Like, I mean, like, if this was an actual event and it actually happened and 500,000 people actually showed up to Area 51 and actually stormed. I keep using the word actually because, you know, if it wasn't a joke, 500,000 people. Like, I severely doubt there's 500,000 people, you know, who do security in Area 51. I would say there's, at maximum, I would say there's probably under 100 people who actually work as security in Area 51. So what would happen if 500,000 people, jets, tanks, it'll start a civil war? You know what, Damien, I think that is exactly what this world needs. I think it is time that this world has a civil war. The civil war to end all civil wars. The war to end all wars. World War III. Not a war of nations. Not a war of politics. Not a war of oil. Not a war of religion. Not a war of superiority. But a war between us versus them. Them being the small 1% elite establishment, or as the cool kids like to call them, the Illuminati, whatever you want to call them. This 1% who have been infiltrating the world's most powerful institutions, including politics, banks, and Hollywood, for years, who have been pulling the strings of this world, who have been hiding the truth from us for decades and decades and decades. This 1% who feel like they're so important and so superior than us that they think they can hide truths from us and think they can manipulate our lives. The 1% being them, and the us being the 99%, being the majority of people who are slowly but surely waking up to that truth. When you have Jeffrey Epstein, what the hell his name is, the paedophile, the rich and powerful financer, who was a friend of the Clintons and Trumps, who is now being arrested on charges of child sex trafficking. When you have figures like that being arrested, when you've got people waking up to all sorts of things happening all over the world, you've got Irish investigative journalists like Gemma O'Doherty standing up, having her YouTube channel deleted because she's speaking the truth that they don't want you to hear. When all these people are waking up, it is time for that civil war. You know, and not only against the 1%, but the people who go along with the 1%, the people who are brainwashed, who are just too far gone, too brainwashed by the 1%. It's too late for those people. You know, there's no hope for those people. They're too far gone. But I think that'll be the next war. That's one of my crazy predictions now, Jamie. Let's see what happens in years to come. But I think that's going to be the next war, and I think that's the war that we need. We need that war. Settle it once and for all. Because, like, the world is changing, and people are seeing it. They're realizing it, or they're waking up to it now. I mean, like, left-wing liberalism. Okay, folks, say the word. See, that's my speech impediment. Now coming up. Left-wing liberals. You know, there used to be a time where they were about, you know, fighting for people's rights and progression, productivity, you know, and stuff like that. But now look at the world. Now look at the world. You can't say I do know, I still have a speech impairment. We now live in a world where you can't say he or she. Well, in California, at least, you can't say he or she. But see, once the 99% actually wake up and realize that that's actually not the truth. See, here's the plot twist. It's all orchestrated. The reality is, look at the LGBTQ plus movement for a second. Go back to that for a second, okay? The reality is, the majority of gay, lesbian, bisexual, transsexual and queer have no interest in the LGBTQ plus movement. They have no interest in the flag. They have no interest in that movement. The majority of people are actually against abortion. And like it or not, the majority of Irish people are actually devoted Catholic Christians. No matter how many atheists will tell you that it's not. That is a reality. The reality is, there's actually a lot of people who support and like Donald Trump. The reality is, there's a lot of people who see all of these truths. People have you think that the world is a certain way, and they'll have you think that people think a certain way. But that's actually not real. Because that's what they've been doing for years and years and years, is like manipulating people thinking a certain way. Like, they're just a 1%, but there's 99% of people. So they're severely outnumbered. Severely outnumbered. And the only way to fight the 1% is to fight fire with fire. To do what they've essentially been doing for hundreds of years. Infiltration. Right? Get into the highest and highest of positions. You know? Sit right beside a rich and powerful person who's pulling the strings and say, I know exactly what you're doing, motherfucker. You know? And then things get interesting. Things get interesting then. You know? And that'll be the start. That'll be the start of a civil war. A civil war to end all wars. But once you start realizing that the world is not the way that you think it is, that they want you to think it is. Once you start waking up and realizing that, you kind of realize that they're fucked, basically. So like, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. There was something else now I was going to say, but I'm forgetting. 3 hours and 8 minutes into the stream. What time was it? Oh man, there was something else I was going to say, but I forgot. What was it? I'm too lazy. I'm actually too lazy to go to sleep. I will know in a few seconds. There was something I was going to say, but I'm after really forgetting what it was though. Seriously. But it was just more or less. It was just more or less about like how, as long as the sooner we realise that all these like agendas that they're pushing out, like whether it's abortion, whether it's the LGBTQ plus movement, whether it's hating Donald Trump, whether it's hating Christianity, like making you realise that, making you realise that Christianity is irrelevant, making you realise that, killing your unborn baby is the only option for an unplanned pregnancy, making you realise that Donald Trump is the devil, making you realise that that if you're gay, you have to be part of this movement, and that everyone else is part of that movement. Just making you think a certain way. Once you start realising that actually isn't the case, like if you actually go on the ground right now, not on the ground right now, what I meant to say is on the ground, like the term on the ground. Like if you actually speak to people, like real people, not a forum online. Do you know what I mean? Like not people who phone into a radio station, but if you actually speak to actual people, you would be surprised. You would be surprised what you would hear from actual people who could actually be like lesbian, gay, bi, whatever the case, and they might turn around to you and say, you know what, this movement is a load of shit. It's crazy. It's OTT. There's no need for it. I'm not going to go into rainbow housing. I'm going to go into normal housing, where my friends are, where my family are. You know what I mean? I don't need to be special. I don't need to be segregated from the rest of society. You'll get people who will say, no way in hell am I going to abort my baby. You're going to get people who will go to mass on a Sunday, and the kind of people that will go to mass on a Sunday would actually severely surprise you, because it ain't 90-year-old Mary, down the road. People that go to mass on a Sunday would surprise you, really surprise you. And what else? Like, and somebody who supports Donald Trump, like, is not a fucking Nazi, right? Somebody who supports Donald Trump might be somebody who agrees with, protecting America from dangerous criminals. I mean, we live in a world where if you turn around and say, I like Donald Trump because he wants to protect America, you're a racist. I mean, how does that make any sense? How does that make any sense? We live in a world where, and we also live in the world where we're actually protecting criminals, and we're protecting criminals and attacking the people who are exposing the criminals. Damien, Tommy Robinson, you actually made me aware of him. Actually, I actually never knew about this man before you made me aware of him. I feel so bad for that man right now. I feel so bad for that man. That man is in prison right now for contempt of court, because he recorded and asked questions to fucking, yeah man, Tommy Robinson. He's in jail for contempt of court. You probably know the story, like, but it's just crazy, like how how like, you know what, it doesn't, all this legal shit is bullshit. All this legal red tape policy bullshit, it's complete bullshit. It's irrelevant. It's fucking irrelevant. These men, right, who happen to be Muslim, are pedophiles. They fucking gang raped a young girl. Right? Tommy Robinson asked them, how do you they got off on it. They got off on it. Right? Tommy Robinson asked them, how do you feel about your verdict? And apparently, Tommy Robinson caused them anxiety. And he's now being arrested. Or he's now in prison for contempt of court. So basically, what's my take on this? This is my take on this. Tommy Robinson exposed these criminals. And he's the one sitting in a prison cell. And yeah, 90% in the UK. 90% in the UK. Like 90% of fucking gang rapes on girls and young girls are actually from Muslims, and that's an actual statistic that people just don't seem to want to agree with. It's crazy, like, isn't it? I mean, it's crazy how people just don't want to accept that statistic. Like, I was actually watching a speech that Tommy Robinson gave in Oxford. I'm surprised how they actually led him into Oxford, to be honest with you, but he gave a very well put together speech where he was talking about all of this, and there was one particular video that he showed that just struck me, and it just really made me realise just how fucked the world is. It was a video in Luton, I think it was Luton, with these extremist Muslims, and they were converting an 11-year-old boy to Islam. And this kid was, even Muslim public figures confirmed it. Exactly, man. Confirmed stat, yet people still fucking deny it. It's right in front of their face, yet people still deny it. And what was in front of their face as well was an 11-year-old boy being forcefully converted to Islam. And Tommy Robinson posed the question, imagine if that was an 11-year-old boy being converted to Christianity. The whole world would be up in arms. Riots on the street, burning down Catholic churches. But hey, if a Muslim does it, there's nothing wrong with it. Crazy. It's just crazy carry on. But what really upsets me about Tommy Robinson is the fact that, like, he's being made out to be the bad guy. Nobody is talking about these Muslim pedophiles. Nobody is talking about protecting, yeah man, they're burying their heads in the sand. I'm telling you, man, they're burying their heads in the fucking sand, man. That's what they're doing, man. Their heads are just so fucking far buried in the sand. It's a crazy world, man. It's an absolute, there's no, I don't know how else to put it, man. There's just no empathy, there's no emotion left anymore. I mean, people just don't seem to care anymore. Like, I mean, nobody is talking, everything has become robotic, Damien. I look around this world and I see robots. I see regulation over emotion. I see politics over common sense. You know, I see law over morality. I just don't see human beings anymore with any sense of empathy. Like, Hitler targeted the wrong group. It's one way to put it, man. It's one way to put it. Man, I just don't see humanity anymore. I don't see humanity in people anymore because, like, nobody seems to care about the fact that these very dangerous extremist Muslims are engaged in paedophilia every day of the week. That these men gang raped a young girl. Nobody seems to care about that. Nobody seems to care about that side of things. Like, even in Ireland, like on our soil, That young 14-year-old girl that was brutally raped and murdered by a boy, and his friend was involved in it as well. I think they were like 12 and 13 at the time. Again, all you hear on mainstream media is, if you speak that boy's name, you'll be fined €15,000. You could face imprisonment, contempt of court. Don't name those boys. Don't name. We have to protect those boys. What do you mean, those boys? You mean the rapists? You mean the murderers and a Satanist as well? May I fucking add? Whose daddy is a solicitor. So little rich boy, you know, with his rich fucking daddy who happened to be a solicitor, who's probably more than likely either a Freemason, a high-ranking Freemason, and involved in some serious fucked up satanic fucking behaviour. Because why else would his fucking son be found with a satanic book about satanic pledges and what you have to do to be in this pledge, and don't talk about Jesus Christ, just talk about Satan. I mean, come on, this is all out there, it's all reported, and ironically enough, it's actually being reported by mainstream media, RT News. So we're protecting these people, we're protecting people like that, we're protecting the criminals. I mean, what about the family of that girl? What about, you know what I mean, like, it's crazy. This is what we're doing, we're protecting criminals. It's just, oh man. And they say like, oh, so God loved them. I mean, like, God is going to be the only person that fucking loves them, because if I came across those motherfuckers, man, I wouldn't be held accountable for what I'd fucking do. And that's the God in the truth, man, seriously. Yeah, and then in England, like, you know, we've got Tommy Robinson in the prison cell because he simply fucking asked a paedophile, or paedophiles, how they actually felt about their verdict. And it's crazy, like, it's just, and it's, what annoys me the most though is just how unbalanced. This is actually how I'm going to end the stream, and I will be going to bed in literally like about 2 minutes now. The world is just so unbalanced. Like I live in a world where if I so much as have a conversation with a kid in public, I've eyes on me. Right? And whispering mouths, right? Saying, why is he talking to a kid? He must be a paedophile. And they'll probably like spend like an hour or two gossiping about me to everyone around them. Yet a paedophile gang that gang rapes kids on a daily basis goes over their fucking head. They'll go home and watch Love Island. That goes over their head. They give that no thought. Well, that doesn't affect me. That doesn't bother me. Why should I care about that? That doesn't bother me. That's just so unbalanced, like, you know? And I think that's what irritates me the most, man. About everything is the fact of how unbalanced all of it actually is. I'm telling you, man, it's a fucked up world. It is a fucked up world. So look, everyone will be going back and watching House of Cards, the new season of House of Cards, where a fucking paedophile is the main star. So the fucking director of Jeepers Creepers molested the boys who starred in Clown House on the set of that movie. He's a convicted paedophile. He came out of prison, directed Jeepers Creepers 3. You know, this is and they all run out there and go watch these movies, support them. They'll all be watching Kevin Spacey in no time. They'll all fucking welcome in fucking extremist Muslims into the country. You know, won't raise an eyebrow. But sure, look, you know, fucking hell, man. You so much as say hi to a kid these days. You know. you've become Satan himself. Jesus H. Christ, like. I mean, just how unbalanced is that shit, like. Anyway, I am going to end the stream finally. I think this is the longest stream I've actually done in a long time, and I'm going to get some sleep. I'm just going to, like, I'm not even going to, normally, like, I browse my phone or some shit, like, for a while. I'm just literally just going to lie there and go to sleep and just put this crazy world behind me. Wake up into a new dawn and see what happens in the morning. So I will say good night. Thank you for checking the stream, Damien. Good night, buddy. I hope you get some sleep as well, man. You should get some sleep as well, man. You should get some sleep as well, man. I hope you manage to get some sleep as well, man. I'll say this straight, the two of us will be up all night, like, Jesus Christ. So thank you for checking out the stream, Damien. It's much appreciated, man. Good night to you, buddy, and to everyone else who watched the live stream as well. And shout out to you, Damien Sewell, Prochronics Vlogz, Chad Middleton, Aidan Denson, Milkman the Gamer. I'm going to say your name again, Damien and Anne Sewell, because I'm so used to saying it in an order. Animation Time and Sonic Studio as well. So shout out to all of those guys, and I will see you next time on Greenhawk Gaming. I'm going to go to Dreamland now, and hopefully I won't be dreaming how fucked up the world is. So good night, and I'll see you soon.